this oak leaf coaster, I'm using wash away stabiliser. I'm going to float a piece of cutaway on top. I'm using my 4x4 hoop, thread, matching bobbin, scissors, my fabric's cut to size. I'm using some offcuts of fleece wadding today and some tape. I'm going to start off by hooping my wash away stabiliser. And I'm going to lay my cutaway stabiliser on top. And I'm going to pop that in my machine and stitch round number 1, which is the outline. I'm going to turn my hoop over, get rid of these little ends here. And I'm going to lay my first fabric over the back, and I'm just going to trim this down a little bit. I'm using offcuts today, so they're a little bit large sometimes. Okay. So now I'm going to tape that in place so that it can't move while I stitch it. And turn that over. And I'm going to place my batting down next, like so. And I'm going to put a little bit of tape just to hold this because it's in 2 parts, because again it's an offcut. I don't want it separating as it's being stitched. And then I'm going to put my second piece of fabric over the top and tape that in place as well. I'll now pop that back in my machine and stitch round number 2, which is going to secure both pieces of fabric to the stabiliser. Next I'm going to stitch round number 3, which is going to do the veins of the oak leaf. It's now time to trim away all the excess batting and fabric and cutaway stabiliser from both the front and the back. So I'm going to start with the back as usual so that it doesn't get forgotten. And trim up these little threads here. Okay. I'm now going to pop that back in my machine and stitch round number 4, and that's going to do all the edging and the decorative top stitching on top of the satin stitch. Have you ever been cutting away and trimming up all your excess fabrics, batting, etc., only to find that you've actually cut a hole in your stabiliser? It's very, very easy to fix. I actually did this here, as you can see. If I left that there, it would probably make a bit of a mess of the satin stitch border. So all I'm going to do is place a piece of wash away stabiliser over the top, and I'm going to tape it in place. Now I need to do this where it's not going to get in the way of the satin stitching, so I'm going to pull that over a little way. Tape this is a little bit wide, so I'm just going to cut my tape down a bit. Put that there, so that when the satin stitch is stitched, it's not actually going to touch the tape. and that here. Press that down, and there it is, sorted. I can now carry on stitching as if it never happened. All it remains now is to free this from the hoop. So I'm going to turn it over, and as you can see, where I did that patch repair, it's held perfectly fine. So I'm going to remove the tape, just trim away around here. And now I can actually free it from the hoop. Okay, I'm now going to take a cotton bud and water and just dip it in and dissolve all the wash away stabiliser. And there it is, my reversible oak leaf coaster. I hope you enjoyed this stitch along. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to be notified of new videos as they are published. And thank you very much for joining me.